So my name is Daniel Huszar, and I stand between you and the drinks, I believe, which is called the graveyard shift. And uh, it's not the easiest part, so I'll try to make this as unusual and fun as I possibly can by talking actually about something that I call social investing, and also about memes, a form of communication, which I believe, and also the customer of the future. My background is that I've been a technologist as long as I can think. I was one of the early investors in Bitcoin in 2013. I also gave public talks about this. And for the last 10 years, I worked for a software company in the factoring space, also called FCOM. And giving advice to banks, what kind of future trends they should be watching in their financial space, basically. And and I believe, and the talk is really centered around, the communication style and internet trends of the last, let's say, 10 years, roughly 10, 15 years, and how we can predict and extrapolate from this what we need to watch when we talk about future customers. And I'm going to show you a video now, and I think I ruined the joke by clicking just one click too far, that will explain everything in 9 seconds, basically about this. Yeah. I always wanted to do this, actually, to rickroll an entire audience. And now I did it. It's a bit late. I think that was probably, I don't know, 5, 10 years ago. I don't even remember. And you probably all have seen this. Your good friend sent you a meme or a link talking about, yeah, you got to see this amazing new product that I have, or this, or something like this, or this opportunity, and then you click on the link and you see this, and you know that you have been pranked, basically, and that's the joke. It's one of the most seen YouTube videos of all time. I'm Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley, great song. And so you've all know memes and the communication style. You send GIFs, you send these little pictures with white fonts, and you use fail and YOLO and whatever, and all these, old memes. And this talk is also centered around the idea that these are not just funny jokes, but can lead to really interesting, dangerous, and all kinds of outcomes in the real world. And we're going to look at a few examples just to show you how your future and also present customers might think on a meta level without, because we are using all of these things without thinking about them too much in a way. And so I brought a definition of a meme because I like definitions, and some people, other people, like them too. So, and I went back to a book from Richard Dawkins, The Selfish Gene. He was the first one to actually coin the term meme, and I'm just going to read the definition as follows. Just as genes propagate themselves in the gene pool by leaping from body to body via sperms or eggs, so memes propagate themselves in the meme pool by leaping from brain to brain via a process which in the broad sense can be called imitation. So in short, the interesting part, and this is about me, it's about a transfer of ideas, which can be funny, which can be like really emotional and really short, and which is also, it's a very complex thing, a meme, if you look at it. And it seems so simple. It can be just a picture, but you need a lot of pop culture knowledge to decode it. And a lot of memes are remixed, and some of them are so much remixed that they seem like inside jokes, and sometimes they are. They can only be understood by certain communities. And now we are going to look at first at the origins of this, and then some examples to make it clear what I mean by a joke becomes serious. This is the origin of memes, basically. It's a forum founded in 2003. By which, let's say, nerds who live in a basement post pictures of Japanese animation, like anime. You've seen this probably, or manga, like the still images, the comic books, and this is how it started. And it's kind of a little bit, anarchist. You could share any thoughts or any picture on there. If you look at this, it's very basic. It looks almost like basic HTML or something like this, and it is intentionally hard to use. Even like on a smartphone, but on a desktop, once you get the gist of it, it's really easy to use. And this was intentional, of course, to keep like the normies, that's us, out of this sacred space. And there's a couple of interesting things about this. Every user is called anonymous there, so there is a movement. If you remember the hacker movement, Anonymous, that was started there. I'm going to expand on this. And these images with the captions, like fail, YOLO, and these kind of things, and the Rickroll, the Rick Astley song that I showed you earlier, it all started there and was years, maybe months or years more popular on this platform before your mom posted it on Facebook, basically. And what they believed in is something like anarchist revolutionary spirit in a way. And it's crazy because one of the first, or a protest got organized from this board, and this is how it gets, like these jokes get into the real world in a way. This was a protest organized by, by members of this board who don't need to make an account. Yeah, I want to stress this. They're all anonymous. And this is why this movement was called Anonymous, with Guy Fawkes masks. They even call each other High Anon on this board. So this is it. And they believe they can post anything they want, basically. And Scientology took down, this is a protest against Scientology, and it took down a video of Tom Cruise rambling. It's like an internal video rambling about Scientology and all this stuff. And Scientology removed this. So they staged a protest. They came out of their basements. That's even how they referred to themselves, like the basement kids there who live in their parents' basements. And they staged this coup, and it was a small protest, but there was the first real world impact of the 4chan forum. And, well, it's not a big scale, and now we have lots of memes in the world, like this is it. Like they always say, memes go to Facebook and die. They start on 4chan, but they die on Facebook, like this. And we have political memes and financial memes. And now we have another real-world impact. This is a graph which documents the rise of a little cryptocurrency called Bitcoin, which you probably know went from $1,000 to over $60,000. Now it's a bit, I think it's a bit less as the time of this recording. And also there were a couple of traders on Twitter, and I saw this live in 2013, that were pushing, and how they call it, pumping cryptocurrencies there, and kind of weaving a narrative for a community that was just there with tons of memes and tons of communication, why this would replace maybe the US dollar even, or all currencies, because it was decentralized and also kind of an anarchist movement in a way. And so in that time span it went, I'm not sure when it first got traded publicly, maybe $5 to $1,200. That was in December 2013. And you still could say, okay, so what? But this now, people are making money with this on a smaller scale at that time. But for these kind of movements, people coming together in a community and kind of pushing an asset like a cryptocurrency or maybe a stock, all that was needed is scale. And this scale was provided quite recently by a thing called Wall Street Bets on Reddit. Reddit is basically a collection of many forums of all kinds of interests, from fishing to movies to finance. And Wall Street Bets is a community where people come together and talk about their investments and also try to push them with a narrative and their numbers. And that's what they did. This is a chart from a company called GameStop. GameStop is a chain of stores, basically, and also an online store that sold used and also new video games. And people thought, they're dead in the water. It's like brick and mortar stores, it's their online presence is dwarfed by other companies. And they thought, even in the times of COVID, this is over. Basically, nobody will buy video games like in a box anymore. They will download it digitally. But then a user called Roaring Kitty, I'm not kidding, he told, this stock is way undervalued, and also a lot of hedge funds are basically shorting this, so we're going to bet against it. And he got, a lot of people, there are 11 million members to this day, a bit more than 11 million members of Wall Street Bets on this forum, and he got people to bet on this with their hard-earned cash. And this chart doesn't reflect this completely, but it went from, in a matter of days, from $5, which he bought it for, to $400. So on a massive scale with all these kind of investors. And they used memes to communicate, to have a style of communication that was simple and direct and emotional in the smartphone age, to kind of sell this narrative to all the traders. And I'm sure, some people got filthy rich with this, and some people got duped by this. So serious business, definitely, when a lot of money is involved. And now we've come full circle with NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, which means this is like a digital copy of art, or it is a digital copy of a meme even, which is kind of made unique because it's stored on a blockchain. And to basically to own the original meme, or to own an original digital artwork, and this is kind of hard to grasp, people are paying incredible sums. This is just a quote from The Guardian, where an artist just made $4 million by the sale of an NFT, which is crazy. Maybe a crazy trend, maybe not, but it's $4 million. That's kind of insane for something that is purely digital and can still be copied. Not the original, of course. So I'm running out of time. Time for the conclusion. I believe that from the desktop age to the smartphone age, for future customers, that this kind of communication and these kind of trends and examples that I set forth will be very relevant for the future, and the future will be quite interesting and weird because of it. Because the small screens, they make the perfect vessel, the perfect medium for these memes to thrive. Financial contexts and political contexts, which can be quite important and get from a joke to reality. It's quite important to understand this language, I believe, especially also for banks and dealing with your SME customers, because this kind of stuff is completely ingrained in their culture. And then people are in their 20s now or in their teens. It will be automatic for them. And just to give you two examples, it's important to understand this language even now, to avoid a kind of shitstorms online, right? Where people are massively complaining, also with memes, and it can be a PR nightmare. Just Google the term and look at the cases, basically. And with this one, I'll close. It can also be used to your advantage. Like, for example, and this is also like used as a joke with PayPal or Revolut. you can send a GIF or a meme with a transaction, for example, to just communicate where, like, for what it was, or to send a joke to your friend. So the possibilities are endless, and I think we're going to see many more interesting and strange things in the future happening in the internet culture space and in the investment and financial space triggered by the internet. Thanks a lot, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.